Yo! Okay, today's video we're gonna talk about Taiwan and twisting of information and facts and history to push a narrative against China, that China is evil and that China wants to destroy Taiwan, China wants to occupy Taiwan, China wants to hurt the Chinese, Taiwanese people that live in Taiwan. No. Okay, so there are three parts. The first part is the background and the history of the situation between China and, well, the Chinese people in Taiwan. Then we're going to go through facts about the situation, and then we're going to do a conclusion and analysis of what this means. Okay, so first and foremost, China is a very large country, the largest in Asia, and Taiwan is an island very near China. It's like some 100 kilometers away from the coast. Okay. There are many hype stories, sensational stories about China being like ready to invade Taiwan, destroy Taiwan, you know, take it over, murder people to take over Taiwan, and so on. And that, I mean, it hasn't happened, and this whole fear mongering of it all, based on basically nothing. I mean, like, nothing has been, no war has been declared. I mean, there's a constant negative narrative being pushed against China that, like we have established before, often or mostly is based on nothing, no evidence, lies and conspiracies. So there is nothing has happened yet. Okay, so what is the Taiwan and China and the Chinese people in Taiwan situation? China had a civil war in the 1940s where there were two sides of Chinese people that wanted to take control over China, that they wanted to rule China, and regardless of what these sides called themselves, whatever religion or political system they, labeled themselves, they wanted to take over and control it like basically dictators, because it's a war situation, and I mean, like they're going to be authoritarian, like regardless. I mean, it happens in civil wars. Like, you're gonna get some form of like authoritarian like government regardless of what happens. So one side was led by Mao Zedong and the other was led by Chiang Kai-shek. And the side that was led by Mao Zedong won, and the side that was led by Chiang Kai-shek lost. So but instead of surrendering to the winner, Chiang Kai-shek and his followers, fled to the island Taiwan and declared it an independent country. I mean, there are a couple of problems with this. That the premise is that they're fighting for China, over China, and what China controls. The winner should get all of China. China, Taiwan, all of China. I mean, it's not like we lost, but we're gonna take this island from China and go and declare it a new country. No, like, it should be all China then, because the one-sided won China. So, I mean, that's the problem. The losers didn't respect the winners. The losers lost the war, but I mean, they decided to like take an island and declare it and declare that they won that. No, it's stupid. So China and Taiwan should be the same country because Mao Zedong won the war and should rule all of China. So that's the history, and the history tells us that China should be all of China. China, Taiwan is all China. Chinese people, oh, Chiang Kai-shek was Chinese. Like, it was all China. China still were Chinese people. Like, he took Chinese people into Taiwan, more Chinese people. There were already Chinese people in Taiwan, but he took more Chinese people into Taiwan and declared that we are Chinese, because he still said that this was China. Taiwan was China. It's all China. Mao Zedong said, called China and Taiwan China. Chiang Kai-shek called China and Taiwan China. They all said that China was all of it. But I mean, somehow Chinese people in Taiwan are not considered Chinese anymore. They're not considered something else. But no, they are ethnically Chinese. They speak Chinese. It's all Chinese. It's all China. Like, the solution is clear. The winner won all of China. It's all Chinese people. It's China. China, China, China. Okay, that's the background. It's all China. It's all China. Okay, now some facts. Chinese people have been in Taiwan for, it says here 13th to 17th century, so whoa, how many centuries is that? 800, almost 1,000 years. So Taiwan has been China, as in like Chinese people have been in Taiwan for almost 1,000 years. So it's China, Chinese people, China. There are other groups of ethnicities in China, in Taiwan also, that didn't come originally from China, but I mean, Taiwan has mostly Chinese people in it. Okay, so the people that control Taiwan now are Chinese. They came from China. They disagree with the well, I mean, it originates with a loss of a war, and they didn't want to accept that, so they basically disagree. They disagree, and then gradually it became, we disagree with the politics, like everybody always disagree with politics. We disagree with the leaders, we disagree with the, whatever, name it, we disagree with it. We disagree with everything. We disagree with everything. So we want our own country. But like minorities, rebels, whatever, they always want their own country. Like, your father wants his own country. He would like, if he had a chance, he would separate and have his own country. Everybody wants their own country. Like, everybody wants their own country, but like, should they get their own country? No, like, no. That's not gonna work. So anyway, Taiwan has had Asian people for thousands of years, but the beginning of time. Different ethnicities of Asian, but all Asian. And China was one of these, Chinese was one of these ethnicities for almost 1,000 years. And they came from all over China, but also more specifically from Fujian. They're called Hoklo, and Guangdong, they're called Hakka, and just, other Chinese people. So there are some people that write that, there's some journalists and conspirators that write that China wasn't, that Taiwan didn't belong to China, and that somehow China just took it after, in modern times. Chinese people have been there for almost 1,000 years. It's China. It's been Chinese people for almost 1,000 years. China. Taiwan is China. It's like saying that Americans were not in Puerto Rico until modern times, and then suddenly they just took it, and then, you know, Puerto Rico didn't have any Americans in it until, like, I don't know, 1940s. No, like, Americans, I mean, like, regardless of the murdering of thousands of millions of black people to just, you know, to, like, you know, develop the country and, you know, taking Puerto Rico at the same time. I mean, Americans have been, like, there for, like, you know, kind of a long time. Not 1,000 years, but, you know, a long. I mean, it's like saying that, you know, that, you know what, I mean, it's a bad comparison, but Taiwan has had Chinese people for almost 1,000 years, so it's China. Taiwan. Oh, and after the Civil War in China, the Chinese people in Taiwan were ruled under a dictatorship, authoritarianism. So, attacking China because of the no democracy situation and not attacking Taiwan for not having no democracy for decades and decades. What the hypocrisy? Like, just what the conspiracy and hypocrisy is that? It's just insane. It's just beyond dumb and insane. It's just stupid. But USA, despite the authoritarianism and dictatorship in China's Taiwan, they supported Taiwan anyway. They supported dictators. I mean, like, is that the democratic values? I mean, Taiwan did not have democracy for decades, but USA propped up the government anyway. Like, there are no morals. There are no morals. And somehow dictators are good, and non-democracy is good for America, but only if it hurts China. Like, the insanity of it all. Democracy can just be whatever, you know? Democracy, yeah, well, I mean, the system in America is a democracy. Well, I mean, it's said that it's a democracy. And it kills black people systematically, from the beginning to the end. So, I mean, democracy, I mean, is a convenient word. Another fact about Taiwan, China's Taiwan, is that the Chinese people in Taiwan, of Chinese ethnicity, they discriminate against people that are not of Chinese ethnicity in Taiwan, also other Asians in Taiwan. Like, other ethnicities, other Asians that are not Chinese, that have been in Taiwan equally long as Chinese people or longer, are marginalized, they have high unemployment, low education, and otherwise discrimination. So Taiwan is not, China's Taiwan is not the best example of equality and democracy. I mean, it was a dictatorship for decades. That, I mean, like, attacking China every day and being like, Taiwan is so good and it must be protected and so on and so on. I mean, No. Taiwan is not the nicest place if you're not Chinese. Because the people in there are Chinese. China. Taiwan is Chinese. The people are mostly Chinese. They have Chinese blood. They came from China. They speak Chinese. They are Chinese rebels that lost a war and suddenly declared an island of China to be a different country. That's not okay. It's insane. So, let's conclude. The China-Taiwan situation is very hypocritical. Taiwan was a dictatorship and with authoritarian and no democracy, similar to China, but also not. Well, I mean, similar in like the basics of authoritarianism to China today, as Taiwan was then. But still, Taiwan got international support, mainly through the hypocrisy of USA, America, that propped up the dictatorship in order to, like, you know, conveniently promote non-democracy to hurt China. And also, so they got international support. Taiwan, with their authoritarianism, dictatorship, non-democracy, got international support through America. Insane. What does democracy mean? What does democracy mean? Whatever is convenient. Okay. Sorry. If Chinese people from China can occupy Taiwan, even if Chinese people have been in Taiwan for like almost 1,000 years, and if they have a non-democratic government and can get world support, then what is the difference between those Chinese people that occupy Taiwan or Chinese people in China? Well, oh my god, that's the same thing actually. But I mean, like in a new era, occupy Taiwan and basically take it over. Even though Chinese people were there before, and then also in 1940s, and like basically today. It's the same thing. Chinese people take over Taiwan, Chinese people take over Taiwan, Chinese people take over Taiwan again. Like there is no difference. There is literally no difference. And if they can get support internationally by America also, well, I mean, in 1940s, and there's a dictatorship, authoritarianism, then there logically should not be a problem if China takes Chinese Taiwan now. There is no difference. No difference. No difference. No difference. No difference. If America was okay with Chinese people taking over Taiwan in the 1940s and making a dictatorship there, then America is okay with it now. Democracy is convenient. This whole China and Taiwan and Chinese people in Taiwan was just an opportunity for America to meddle into a situation in Asia and, you know, try to hurt China. Like, Taiwan does not have anything to do with America. It's not in the same continent. It's not near America's continent. It's nothing to America. It's just meddling to create more destruction. Kind of like what happened in Korea. 3 million people died and then the country got split in half. It's still split in half because America had to go in there and meddle and make some war 3 million times worse. America owes Korea 3 million dead people in Korea. 3 million people died in Korea because America meddled into it and split the country in half. Isn't that nice? K-pop. 3 million people died in Korea. And America still wants to meddle with Taiwan and China. Like, I mean, who's gonna stop them? Who's gonna stop them? Like, I mean, 3 million people died in Korea and like South Korea is still, yay, K-pop. The country is still split in half. Korea will always be like a half country, half weaker. 3 million dead people. It's psychologically disturbed. It's just psycho. And America nuked Japan and now they're best friends. What? I mean, the psychosis is just like beyond everything. It's like 2 cities with all of its inhabitants got nuked in Japan and now it's like best friends. Like conspiracy, like the conspiracy and the narrative is just psychologically crazy. It's absolutely psychologically crazy. Crazy. Just crazy. How do you get nuked twice and then become best friends with the nuker? What the hell is that? It's a mental problem. But yes, America owes Korea 3 million people dead. Of Korean people. 3 million, like, Jesus Christ. 3 million people died in Korea because America meddled into it. It's like, keep on going. About Puerto Rico, if there was a civil war in America and non-black Democrats disagreed with, everybody else, Republicans and other people, the war ends, and these non-black Democrats then go to Puerto Rico, they declare Puerto Rico an independent country called Puerto Taiwan, Pure Taiwan, and then they get international support for independence. Every country in the world supports their independence. Russia, China, Germany, India, they all say that yes, Puerto Rico, Puerto Taiwan, Pure Taiwan is a new country. And Russia and China threaten America with nukes and war if America attacks Pure Taiwan in order to take Pure Taiwan back to America and you know. Would this new Puerto Rico, Pure Taiwan be a different country? Would the people be of a different ethnicity? Magically, like a new country with new people? No, it would not. It would not be a new country. Or would they deserve to be a new country? So Taiwan does not deserve to be a new country. It is China. Pure Taiwan would not be a new country. Taiwan would not be a new country. Stop the conspiracy. You lose a war, you don't get to take territory from the winners. All of China goes to the winner of the Chinese Civil War. No random Chinese island goes independent after the war. That's stupid, it's unstable. The risk of war is always there. A war that was already over. China won the war. Well, I mean, China versus China. So all of it goes to China. It's over. Taiwan is China. The people in Taiwan are Chinese. They came from China. They speak Chinese. It's all China. 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 It's all China.